Alright, so for our third and final Ancient Civilizations Lasting Legacies video, we'll kick it off with Shang Dynasty bronze work. In China's Yellow River Valley, the Shang Dynasty ruled between the years of 1700 and 1100 BCE. Craftspeople of the Shang Dynasty were incredibly skilled at making items with bronze. These items included many forms of pottery and ceremonial items used at religious, military, or formal gatherings. Bronze is made by combining melted copper and tin together in a precise manner. In order for the Shang Dynasty to have bronze items, they had to have an organized workforce to mine the materials, transport them, combine them, and then shape them into useful items. So, you can't just get bronze out of the Earth's surface. This is an invention of mankind. We had to figure out how to do it. You melt copper and tin down, and then using the right proportions of them, you combine them together, and that gives you the bronze. And then using very skilled labor, you can shape bronze into different tools or items. And here you see some decorative pottery here would be an example of some bronze work. All right. Next up, sticking in Chinese civilization, we have oracle bone script. The first records of ancient Chinese writings were found carved in animal bone or shell fragments. Despite their age, dating back to around 1300 BCE, the writings on these fragments were very similar to some characters in the modern Chinese system. Each symbol represents an idea or object. So again, similar to hieroglyphics or cuneiform, each symbol represents an idea or object, not a sound like the Phoenician alphabet would be. Oracle bone script was used during the Shang Dynasty in order to keep records, educate Chinese citizens, and pass important information to more citizens. The modern-day Chinese system evolved from these early writings on oracle bone. So, oracle bone script, ancient Chinese writing. Two more. Next, we have Mohenjo-Daro, and now we're shifting away from Chinese civilization to Indus Valley civilization. Mohenjo-Daro is an archaeological site that was built by the Harappan people in the Indus Valley region around 4,500 years ago, so around 2500 BCE. It is one of mankind's first large-scale cities. Mohenjo-Daro shows evidence that early civilizations were incredibly advanced, and the way it does that is because the city is laid out with straight, grid-like patterned streets. It features mud brick and wood structures, and some were several stories high. There were public baths in Mohenjo-Daro, and also a sewage system. And it had sets of guard towers to protect it. Now, so Mohenjo-Daro is an archaeological site because it has recently been unearthed and uncovered. If you were to go today, you could visit it and you would see something along the lines of these pictures here. The old ruins of the city have been excavated by archaeologists, but you can still see the intricate design and definite evidence of human planning in this city. Finally, we have Persia's Royal Road. The Persians conquered all of Mesopotamia and a large amount of territory surrounding Mesopotamia. By 500 BCE, the Persians controlled almost all of the modern Middle East and Central Asia, as the map shows below. One project the Persians made in order to help them control their huge empire was the Royal Road. The Persian Royal Road ran across the entire empire from east to west, approximately 1,700 miles. This allowed Persians in one part of the empire to communicate with Persians, not sure why there's an apostrophe on each of those, in other parts of the empire with incredible speed. By today's standards, with internet and electronic communication, the speed of Persian communication was not incredibly fast, but for their time period, where roads were rare, the Persians were able to communicate faster than any other group or empire. This allowed the Persians to set rules, respond to military threats, trade goods, and police their empire in a very organized manner. So pay particular attention to this last sentence. Roads, we may not think about it because they're so commonplace in our society today. But in a time period where roads are rare, this gives your empire a very decisive advantage. The Royal Road allowed the Persians to set rules, respond to military threats, trade goods, and police their empire in a very organized manner. Organization is what set them apart and distinguished them from other empires, and this road helps them do that. So that concludes our video series on ancient civilizations' lasting legacies. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're sleeping at your computer right now, hope you wake up. Enjoy world history class.